Yes, I'm using a microphone because I look back on some of my videos and I realize the sound quality can be like really variable. So I'm doing my best. Let me get a chair. Let me give you an update. What's going on? It has been a very interesting time. It's been really busy and I'll explain what's going on. First things first, I broke my finger. I was training jiu-jitsu and I thought I sprained it. I just kind of like bumped it into the mat, like stubbed all my fingers. And I thought, oh, that's going to hurt in the morning. Carried on. And then the next day it really hurt. And I was like, well, that's standard. And I thought it was sprained. I bought a splint on Amazon, put it in that for a few days and it wasn't getting any better. And then I was like, maybe it'd be better if it was moving around. So I ditched the splint, spent a week or two with it, not in a splint. And was like, this is not getting any better. And then in the mornings, it was getting like obscenely painful. And I was like, there's a little like hospital up the road from me. And they've got like a minor injuries unit. So I turned up one morning, said, well, we won't x-ray if it's over 2 weeks old. And it was 3 weeks old. And I was like, oh, can I just, yeah, no, it's been about, 9 days, x-ray. And the knuckle is completely fractured and there's a chunk of bone which is separated and is like floating around in there. And it's been all right, but I can't train jiu-jitsu, which has been, to be honest, it's been a good thing because I've been so busy elsewhere. So this is what's going on with work. It's been mental. So we've had loads of cash flow problems, right? We've had a couple of jobs where like customers just were not paying on time. It's just so standard. Just never pay the bills on time. Cool. Thanks, guys. And it started causing issues with the team because I was then getting late to pay my subcontractors. A week would go past and like payment was late and I would like pay them what I could afford, but couldn't pay all of their invoices. And it was obviously causing like headaches, right? And we'd shrunk the team down anyway. And then in the space of, I want to say is 2 or 3 weeks, I lost 2 guys. Like, so my team just completely shrank. Like, oh no, like, what do I do? And I'd been putting in a lot of work in the months leading up to that to like get some like new projects in and stuff like this. Anyway, I lost 2 members, so I'm down to just 2 of us. And then, I'm not joking, I got 6 POs, I think, in one day. And then the next day I got another one and then another one. And long story short, now I have a problem at the end of that week. My new problem was I got too much work, not enough people. So it's just, standard, right? And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to do this? I'm just going to have to figure this out, right? So I started getting up at 5 a.m. and getting up into the city like super early and just got on the jobs myself. I got agency staff. I've started 3 projects in the last week. I got another one starting tomorrow and it's just been crazy, like absolutely insane. Now, it doesn't solve immediate cash flow problems, but one of the customers I've got, they pay weekly, which is unbelievable. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. And then another job I've got coming down the pipe, I'm pretty confident with, and will be a big upfront payment. And then I've got another job starting next week. So I've got another one starting tomorrow and then another one starting next week. And I've got an audit, like I have compliance audits every year, and I've got one of those on Monday. It's insane. And actually, weirdly, I'm really enjoying the work, like getting up early, getting into the city for like 7 a.m., getting started really early. I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. And it's like the team are really productive. So it's a shame because I would have liked to have not lost some of my core team because I've always prided myself on building a really good team. But, I can't blame people for not wanting to stick around when there's cash flow problems. People don't want to, they're not invested in the business in the same way I am. They find it harder to see the long-term vision. I knew that things were going to get better, but I obviously didn't instill that faith in others or do a good enough job of that. They were gone, it like all turned around. So I'm not out of the woods yet, and the pipeline is like really healthy. We're going to hit our goal for Christmas, and next year is going to be busy, I think. The only thing I've got to make sure I don't do now is that I don't take my foot off the gas in terms of like the marketing side of things, because that's what got us to this point, right? And I've got some really good talent lined up who want to come and join the company. So, but I'm gonna hold fire on hiring anyone until I'm really sure. You know, the one thing is like no one can do this job as good as I can. You know, like in terms of contracts manager. To be honest, in the UK, when the weather is like it is, what else are you gonna do? Like, what else are you going to do at the moment other than work? So, more good news is that my fucking YouTube channel is blowing up. Anyway, let's get into that in another bit. That's what's going on with work. Let's get moving because I've got to get to the lockup. Other update was with the YouTube kind of kicked off. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to you lot, I guess. It's all you guys. I don't know what it is. I suppose I've been, I was doing like just these vlog sort of style videos before, and I think they were very samey, and I think they were kind of boring because my life is not overly exciting. The thing that I'm sort of like struggling with though is I personally hate hearing advice. It is quite tricky to create good content that is good for the audience but doesn't come off as like advice. That's the thing I struggle with the most, like trying not to come across like, here's what you should be doing, here's how you should be dressing, here's that. Yeah, all that is because that's crap, isn't it? No one likes it. I don't like it. I certainly don't want to produce that stuff. But with a few thousand views comes some negative comments, right? And I'm no stranger to having negative comments on my social media or anything like that. Some of the comments, man, fucking hell, people are stupid, aren't they? Like, I mean, I don't want to call out anyone specifically, but some of the comments I get are just, I read the comments and I'm like, is this person retarded? And I try and reply to all of the comments, but, you know, if it's a negative comment, I'm probably not going to respond. Do you know what I mean? It's because it's just not worth my time. I also do need more help from you guys, the audience, as to what videos to make. Do you know what I mean? It was someone else's idea about doing the watch collection video, and that worked really well. It was another person's idea to do something on like clothing and style. So I did that one, and that also did quite well. From memory, someone else asked about the books. So that also was someone else's idea. The moral of the story is my ideas suck and you guys have better ideas than I do. So let me know your ideas in the comments box below. That is the YouTube update. What else have I got to update you on? I got to London way too early this morning. I was up here at like 6:30. Luckily, the site opened at 7. One of the guys got here at 8, so I managed to get him started. I've been managing to get to the gym, I think, about twice a week, which is all right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure you can maintain, or at least I can maintain some level of sort of muscle mass and fitness on 2 days a week. That's a big if you train full body and you train like you keep it as heavy as possible. So that's all I've been doing. I've just been doing no jiu-jitsu because obviously I've broken my finger. I know a lot of people would train through that But because it's my longest finger, there's just like any impact I make on it just really hurts. Like I just unloaded some boxes out the back of my car, and afterwards it just hurts. So I'm like, don't want to lose mobility. Like I've got to be honest, I'm an older guy now. Do you know what I mean? I've got to be careful about these things. Unfortunately, one of my goals for this quarter, the last quarter of the year, was to compete in jiu-jitsu. I haven't managed to do it. First of all, it was just too busy to like I had too much on my plate work-wise, and now this injury is just like. So I'll make sure that I'll make sure that the jiu-jitsu and competing is a priority for the new year. Realistically, if I want to get my brown belt in jiu-jitsu, I'm being graded by Asim at 50-50, and I know that he's not gonna seriously consider grading me until I've competed and I'm sort of like training to that kind of standard. I could be due a brown belt based on the amount of time I've been training, but I didn't want to do it that way. Do you know what I mean? I got my blue belt way too early, and I would rather get my brown belt and be like overdue. And I just don't think I'm there skill-wise, like technique-wise. I just don't think I'm there. You know, when I think about the brown belts, really good brown belts who I know, level above me, that's for sure. Anyway, I've got to get to another site now. Check on the installer I've got there, because he's being slow. All right, let's get on with it. I was just sat in Watch House Coffee getting some breakfast because I hadn't eaten properly yet today. Got a PO for a job in Hatton Garden, which I priced up a couple of weeks ago. And then I got a small payment come in from a job that was done about a month ago. It's happening, man. Like, it's happening, isn't it? But obviously there's still a long way to go, right? So, but it's coming together. It's coming together. So it's Saturday morning now. I went out for breakfast and coffee, and all I've done today so far is read, and that's all I'm planning to do for the rest of the day. I've got a few work bits to do, but the final update was one on vehicles, because I know you guys like to see the vehicles and all that kind of stuff. But the Land Rover has some sort of issue. I think the battery is dead now, and there's an issue with the carb. It needs retuning, I think. Anyway, I need to get that sorted, and I will. The bikes, I don't tend to ride my bikes in the winter anyway. The Fat Boy, the last time I rode it, I went on a proper tear with a mate, and it dropped a load of oil. It dropped enough that I was like concerned about the oil pressure. But my plan is to put that in the garage and the shop over winter, and get my guy to do a few bits to it. So I'm thinking about, and we'll go into this at some point, and maybe I'll even make a video on it. I'm thinking about, like, because it's stock at the moment, apart from the bars, and I'm thinking about chopping the rear fender, giving it that sort of like strip look, maybe taking the front fender off, maybe even putting a Springer front end on it to give it that sort of like a old school look. The chopper or the bobber, the green one, well, I mean, it's just the weather's terrible, man. I can't ride that bike in this time of year. So at some point I will get them both up to the lockup where I can store them and keep them on charge over the winter. But that is all my updates. The views seem to have been much better with the themed videos, but you know, I did want to give a bit of an update. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about it. I've been the busiest I've ever been, but I'm also feeling the most positive I've ever felt, like, or have felt in a long time. This year's been a tough year. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a really tough year. Business, financially, stress, you know. I noticed myself the other day, like feeling excited for the first time in ages. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's nice to end the year on a positive, right? And then move into next year. I think next year is going to be a big year. I'm already working on next week's video. We're going to go into the tattoo thing next week. So if you've got any questions relating to tattoos or any of that stuff, then drop them in the comments box below, and I'll try and address them in the video. I've got a lot of strong opinions about tattooing in general. So I thought it'd make for an interesting video, and also it's part of my whole thing. I love tattoo culture. I love tattoos. Like, I love cigars. I like old school, like style and clothes, bikes and cars. Do you know what I mean? So I just, I thought I'd incorporate it into the videos. We'll see how it goes. That's it. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, let me know why in the comments. If you didn't like this video, let me know why in the comments. And I will see you in next week's video. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great week.